Hi everybody and welcome to SA Rugby Magazine. I've got Mark Keohane. Mark, 3 games this weekend, not a lot to talk about, so we'll keep it brief. Forward Pumas versus the Stormers.
Stormers to win, but not by much. I think they'll struggle to win by more than 12 points.
Yeah, I agree. The bet I like there is Forward Pumas plus 19.5 point handicap. A few key pieces missing in against the Stormers, and Pumas at home plus 19.5. It's to me a pretty safe bet, and just the Stormers for me haven't flattered to deceive this year. Right? They've been pretty turgid, I suppose. I would say in terms of the way that they've played.
Yeah, I mean they said they were underdone in that fans' day. I thought they were very poor against the Lions. Sia Khaleesi afterwards said that they really struggled with no supporters there. Well, if they struggle in Newlands, they're going to struggle up north. There may be a giraffe in the stands or something like that. But and the Pumas at home have always been a tough side to crack, regardless, you know. And they got a very good away win in Kimberley, so they'll be on a bit of a high. They don't have the quality to beat still a fairly star-studded Stormers side, but a game not to watch on Friday night. I think if you're doing things on Friday night, go out and do them and catch the highlights package.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a Leeds Aston Villa match on Friday night, which I'll be watching rather than that game. But I certainly will have a bet on it. Lions versus the Cheetahs. This is one you have to lock in, folks, if you're betting. It's a right bet, in my opinion. Cheetahs to win. Lions, they haven't looked great this year either, and they're decimated by coronavirus.
Yeah, they've lost 4 players in the last 2 days, and you know they may lose 1 or 2 more before the kickoff. They played 2 away games, narrow defeats. They'll feel they could have won both in Durban and in Cape Town. I just like the look of the Cheetahs, the way they play. Big loss for Rampina, been out for the next 2 months. Went off after 15 minutes. Frans Steyn, though, has really played well. They're a side that's playing for something. They're playing to prove a point, to say they shouldn't be kicked out of pro rugby, and they do have that motivation. The Lions now have a 4-match stretch at home, so they'll be desperate to get a win. 3rd defeat in a row kind of starts putting pressure on them. But I think it'll be close again. It always is when these 2 teams play, regardless of whether it's at Ellis Park or in Bloemfontein. But I think an outright win, I'll go for the Cheetahs to make it 3 from 3.
Yeah, I'm putting R1,000 down on the Cheetahs outright at 1.83. And I like them too for the reasons that I've said. Bulls, Sharks, pick of the weekend in terms of South African rugby. You know, we were chatting off camera about the Sharks' poor record at Loftus, but I got a feeling you're going with the Sharks here, even after seeing their opening their fans' day.
That first 40 minutes when they first 35 instead of 35-0 down. Yeah, I mean, 33 matches in Super Rugby, 10 victories for the Sharks, 3 draws and 20 defeats, and the last time they won it, Loftus, is 2011.
I was still young then.
Yeah, I mean, geez, but everyone also remembers the one they lost at home when Brian Abana scored that last-ditch try in the final, 1913 into a defeat 2019, and the Bulls won the Super Rugby tournament. I like the look of the Sharks pre-Super Rugby shutdown. Wasn't impressed with them in that fans' day. Thought they started well in that opener against the Lions. Looked very good for 25 minutes. Played at a good tempo, and then some of the Lions got on top, and they really had to battle to win it in Durban. The Bulls looked magnificent for 35 minutes against the Sharks in that fans' day. Then really struggled against Griquas at home and won 30-23. And then we had them to actually lose in Bloemfontein. They were very poor in that first half, came back strongly near the end and lost it narrowly by 2 points. And we had a 24-22 game. They lost 19-17. Everything points to a Bulls victory, but something tells me the Sharks will win. Again, they won't win by much. The last time they won there, it was 26-23. I expect it could be a very similar type of result. It will be single digits, but I do have the Sharks to win it.
Yeah, I like where you're coming from, but I don't like the bet. I like Bulls. Whenever I can get to better than even money on Bulls, Sharks, especially with what I've seen this year, I'm going to have to have a tickle on the Bulls to win that game outright. I just think Jake is, you know, he's not one that gets teams up for poor games, and this is a big game, so I think that he'll have his team ready to go, and the Bulls will win by 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I think just on that, I think the teams that are looking for that top 4 playoff will say you can still drop a game away from home, but you can't drop them at home.
Yeah.
And the Lions are taking comfort that they've lost 2 away from home, and they've got bonus points out of both of them. Whereas Jake would know that he drops one at home against a team that's also potentially going to be there in the top four, the Sharks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think everyone's brain would be with a Bulls win. Even though I'm a Bulls supporter, my heart is saying go with the Sharks this weekend. I like the 15 that they've picked. The Bulls hadn't yet announced their starting lineup. Nice to see Nkosi back on the wing. A very settled Sharks team, and I just like the way they played pre-lockdown. I think if they can rediscover a bit of that form, they could edge it. I'm hoping they'll edge it. I'm going with them to edge it. But what's been interesting, and we're getting to week 3, there's no clear-cut standout for me. It's not like you look at New Zealand and say Crusaders are going to definitely take this thing. You look at this and you think, geez, the Stormers will really have to improve to be there at the end. And maybe by January they've come through and all their Springboks are back and firing. But the rest, there's been nothing between these teams. You know, I actually did expect a bit more of the Bulls after that opening 35 minutes, and Jake had really had them for 5 to 6 months. They were disappointing against Griquas and very poor in that first 40, as I said, against the Cheetahs. So they've also lost Gio Aplon for the season, which is a big blow for them. They have to rely a lot on Dwayne Vermeulen, and if he's there, they're a different unit to when he's not there.
Yeah, agree. Well, it should be an interesting game, and we agree on 2 out of 3.
Not too bad. And then we've obviously got in Europe, we've got Six Nations returning. They're going to finish off the next 2 weeks, finish off last season's Six Nations, and it's Ireland against Italy. Ireland have to win that one to mathematically have a chance. You just can't see anyone but England now winning this after France stumbled against Scotland. And then finally the English final against Exeter and Wasp. And it's been a crazy build-up because for the best part of the week, Wasp weren't going to play in it. Bristol Bears were going to play in it because of COVID. All their players have now been cleared and they will play the match. So not the ideal build-up for them, but I just think Exeter, they've been the team of the year, champions of Europe. And I think they deserve to be champions of the United Kingdom as well.
Thanks, Mark.
Pleasure, man.
Okay, man. Have a good weekend.
You too, eh?